Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world? How you guys doing? I hope you are blessed and doing well. It's a little bit of a hot day out here today, a little bit of a warm day. How you doing? Let me know that you can hear me okay. We are here back on Monday, another Team Zuby live stream. I'm seeing a couple people in the chat already, so let me know that you are able to hear me okay. Just drop a message in the chat and we will get it going. I think everything is sounding all right. It should be. Everything should be set up fine. But yeah, just drop me a message and let me know, and then we can get started so that I don't start talking and people can't even hear me. I want to give a shout out to people who are joining already. Shout out to Connor. Shout out to Maza, Haxering, Tom. Shout out to all of you. Thank you for joining the live stream. So, as usual, I would like to welcome you. If it's your very first time tuning into one of the live streams, then welcome. I'm already seeing some familiar faces and some familiar names there, so thank you for tuning in. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. BST, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So whether you stumbled across it or you actively were seeking this out, I would like to thank you for being here. So, as usual, what I want to do is I want to talk about a few things today. You saw the title of the video. This is about not fighting hatred with hatred. I think this is an important thing to highlight because certainly over the last week, but over the last few months, it's something that I see people doing a lot of. So I wanna talk about that. I want to spend a little bit of time on this issue. Think about how we can make things better and improve things overall. You know me, I'm a positive guy, optimist. I always like to make things better. But what I want to do is open up the chat to everybody who is joining. If you have any questions for me, we'll open up with a Q&A. I'll do a Q&A later on as well. No obligation to do a super chat, but if you would like to support my work and support the channel, super chats are always appreciated, and I will absolutely prioritize your question or comment if you drop a super chat. If not, just leave a normal comment and I will try to get to it. It's really warm where I am, so pardon me if I start sweating a little bit. I'm trying to stay cool out here. So let's see who's tuning in. Like I said, feel free to drop a question, and I will get to those. Just given some updates. The past couple weeks they've been busy. They've been busy. I've released a whole bunch of brand new merchandise. If you've been following me on social media, if you've been on teamzuby.com, you will know that I've got new hats. I've got a whole bunch of new OK Dude caps. I've got the OK Dude t-shirts. I've got men's t-shirts, unisex t-shirts, women's t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts. I've got the OK Dude mugs as well. I'm going to be doing some more t-shirts and some more hoodies down the line as well. So whole bunch of new stuff coming. Done a bunch of new podcasts. I did an interview this morning with William Clouston, who is the head of the Social Democratic Party here in the UK, which is a small and rising political party. Had a really interesting conversation with him. I had my Real Talk with Zuby podcast with Michael Malice, which came out Friday last week, so that was just a couple days ago. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's here on YouTube, or you can check it out on iTunes or wherever else you listen. I've got a whole bunch of cool podcasts in the pipeline, actually. I'm going to be featuring on, if you know Brett Weinstein, I'm going to be on Brett Weinstein's Dark Horse podcast. We're going to be recording that later on this week, so that should come out sometime in the next couple weeks. So a lot of stuff is happening. Still, the world is slowly returning to normal, but getting a lot of stuff done from the computer and off the phone. So let me jump into the Q&As. I'm gonna see what we got here. I just like this comment, so I'm gonna highlight it. I love this Nigerian. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody joining. Let's see if you guys have any questions. I think the chat is a little bit delayed, so let's just see what we got here. Some people's first time. Thank you for joining if it's your first time. Okay, first question we got here. Hey Zuby, did you hear about that small BLM group who want an independent black state? I haven't heard of a BLM group wanting that. I know that there are separatists in the USA in particular who want to have an all-black state. I don't know, Wakanda or something like that. Which is, man, maybe I'll get into this. I was going to save this kind of stuff for later, given the title of the video, but stuff like that is very weird to me. It's very, very weird to me. I mean, the idea of wanting a racial ethno-state, right? When white nationalists and white supremacists and stuff say they want to have an all-white ethno-state, we know how the world reacts to that. We know how everybody reacts to that. And it's kind of disturbing how you have people who are sort of on the other side of the coin, supposedly, who are literally pushing for the exact same idea. I mean, personally, I have no interest in living in an ethno state. I like the fact that we can all, people of all different colors, ethnicities, whatever beliefs. I like the fact that we can all mix together and live in live in the same place and be cordial and be civil. I'm not particularly interested in living in an ethno state where it's just other, I don't know. Like on the other hand, though, if people really, I think maybe like 0.01% of people even want that. So look, if they want to go and like buy an island or somewhere and like if all of the white nationalists and all of the black nationalists want to, just ship off to their own islands or something, I don't actually care. Like maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's best that the people who are sowing the discord and sowing the disharmony, maybe like if they just sort of ship off and make their own little islands and do their thing. I don't think they'll thrive, to be honest, because what helps a society to thrive is actually having a lot of different people and having the whole pool of talent. So if you want to sort of cut off 99.9% of the talent and go off and do your thing, good luck to you. But it's silly. But we'll talk about some of that stuff later on because I do want to talk about that. Shout out to everybody who's just joining. The amount of people coming in is more and more. I can see people from all over the world. Shout out to all of you. Thank you. Thank you so much for everybody joining in. Okay, we got a couple of questions. So let's talk about a couple. Let's take a couple questions here. Let me just see what's popping up. This is from Cairns, UK. Do you think the black community could take inspiration from the white community by labeling bad subcultures like chavs to joke about and discourage the behavior? This is a tricky question. I mean, the terminology itself, I don't really use. Like, I don't like the term black community. Not everybody agrees with me on this, but I don't really think the black community exists. There are over 1 billion black people in the world. I mean, I guess on a local level, you could say that, but there's not really a black community. Just like, I mean, is there a white community? I don't really think there is. I think people, I don't know, that's not the way I use the term community. But to answer the question, do I think that people could take inspiration by labeling bad subcultures? I mean, I think people already do that. I don't think the labels are particularly what is necessary. I just think people need to recognize what are, individually and collectively, people in, any type of community just need to recognize what is good behavior and what is bad behavior and what is likely to lead to success and what is likely to lead to misery. I mean, we already know what these things are, right? We know what it is that makes people successful. We know what it is that makes people fail. So I think it's good to just recognize that and be honest about it and try to promote people and ideas and behaviors that play into that. And I think vast majority of people are on board with it, with all of these things, with any group, any community, humanity in general. The problem is always a very small percentage of people, right, who kind of ruin things for everybody else. Like, if it weren't for what percentage of people even commit crime, let alone violent crime, right? I don't think 99.9% of people are not, I don't know, okay, maybe not that high. 99% of people are not criminals. And maybe 99.9% of people are not violent criminals. So it's always, like, if you think of it, if there were no criminals, I mean, we wouldn't need police. We wouldn't need the court system. We wouldn't need prisons. We wouldn't need all that. All of that is to cater to a very small percentage of the population in reality. And it's a shame, but human beings have good and evil within us. And you're always going to get some people there who do bad stuff, which is a shame. But I think, yeah, the good needs to be promoted and pushed and amplified. And the negativity needs to be recognized and called out. And we need to encourage people, especially young people, to, just do better and it really comes down to behavior. We want to make good behavior cool. That's really would be ideal. Got another couple questions here. So this is from Nathaniel. Nathaniel Turner. So, would the first step of resolving hatred be me resolving my internal hate issues, like addressing self-hatred I may not even be aware of? That's a good question. I think so, yeah. I think if you love yourself, then it's easy to mirror that back towards other people. And it happens naturally because if you are happy and positive and you love yourself and you love people around you, then I mean, by loving yourself, you've then got that to give to other people. I think people tend to manifest and reflect whatever they are feeling. So if you get someone who is angry at the world and always likes to take shots at other people and insult other people and just be negative, those are never happy people, right? They're never people who are internally very happy, right? They're not confident about themselves. They don't love themselves, and so that gets reflected back upon other people. But then on the flip side, if you have someone who's very confident and they are happy with themselves and they love themselves and they know what they're capable of, etc., then you don't feel the need. That person doesn't feel the need to tear down other people or to hate on other people, etc. Human beings project a lot, so that goes both for the positive and for the negative. So I think, I think that's absolutely the first step. I think it's hard if you have self-hatred within yourself, then it's always going to be difficult to genuinely love other people, let alone love humanity in general. I mean, loving humanity in general is quite difficult in some ways because, as we've been saying, I mean, human beings have both good and evil. And if you were to look at humanity or look at a country or look at a population and you were to focus on the positive, you'll see just how amazing human beings are and how wonderful they are and how many great things we do and how much love and altruism and charity there is in the world. But also, if you look at the negative and you're seeing all the bad stuff and you're looking at history and you're seeing the negative and that's where your focus is, then it's not hard to understand how someone might be like, man, dogs are better than humans, right? You get people who say that animals are better than humans. And I don't believe that statement, but I can understand where it comes from because human beings have the capability of great goodness and great love, but also of great evil and great violence and great brutality. And we see all of these sides, and we've certainly seen it throughout history, and you can see it around the world. So yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm going to take a couple more questions. Like I said, if you want to drop a super chat, you are very welcome to, but there is no obligation. And then I'm going to just go on a little bit of a rant based around the title of the video. So let's see what else we got here. This is a question from Haxering. Question: have you heard of the Civil Rights Society in the U.S.? They seem like they're trying to address the hate issue in an organized way, but I haven't seen them around a lot. The Civil Rights Society. I feel like that rings a bell. I think someone sent me a link to it, but I don't know the details yet. I haven't looked into it. If you've got more information about it, then feel free to drop that into the chat. But I am no expert about it. Next question. I'm gonna do a couple more, and then I'll jump on to the main thing, and then we can take more questions later. There's a question from Bradley. Zuby, what are your thoughts on people losing their job just because of their political views? I hear this is going on a lot lately. I don't stand for that at all. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. I think we can't talk about diversity and inclusion and tolerance and fairness and do the opposite of that. I don't think anybody should be fired for their political views. Like, I think no, I don't. I mean, if you've got someone who is like, I mean, I guess if you took it to a super duper extreme, then there are, you probably wouldn't want a Nazi like teaching your children at school or something like that. Yeah. But in terms of anything that's sort of within the realm of normalcy in terms of political views and social views, then no, I absolutely don't think people should lose their job for that. I think that's extremely dangerous, very, very dangerous to do that. And yeah, it's not helpful. So no, I don't support that. In terms of, actions, I mean, if someone, I believe private companies can do what they want, technically, for the most part. But I think that would just be a really bad mistake for people to start going down the line of firing people off of political views. And I don't know, or we know what cancel culture is, digging up statements people made 20 years ago and firing them over that. Or I'm not in favor of that. Look, if people make mistakes, then some stuff is egregious, right? If it's just a view that's in someone's head, then yeah, I don't think anyone should be fired off of that. Certain actions or statements, sure, things can cross the line. And if you've got a private company then it's their decision to make that call. But in general, broadly speaking, I'm not massively in favor of that. All right, we got my man Max. He's dropped the first super chat. This is £4.99. Thank you, Max. He wrote, I think groupthink is one of the most dangerous issues facing society today. What happened to looking at / treating each other as individuals? Zuby for PM. Thank you, Max. I appreciate that. Thanks for the super chat as well. Yeah, I agree with you. Groupthink is just something that happens, man. Human beings have sort of two psychologies. I think we've got individual psychology and then we've got collective psychology. So we all know that people act differently, people behave differently depending on whether they're by themselves or they're in a group. It even depends on the size of the group. If people are in a large crowd of hundreds or thousands of people and you get that mob mentality, then it's like there's something primal that kicks in, which makes people behave often negatively in a different way than they would if they were just individuals. You can't address a crowd in the same way you can address individuals. So yeah, I agree. I think that's a thing. In terms of treating each other as individuals, I will come to this in the show, but I think most people already do this, right? I think if you spend a lot of time online, especially, or you watch a lot of news, it can be easy to think that it's not hard to think that everything is kind of going nuts and everyone is kind of falling into this trap and everyone is doing identity politics and whatever. But actually, if you go outside, if you go to the town center, if you go to the shopping mall, if you, I don't know, go to the gym, whatever, when they open, people are generally just getting on fine. And most people do get on fine. Like I said, there's always just a small subset of people who want to sort of make stuff work and make stuff worse and kick up problems and things like that. So I think that's what we need to fight against and not allow people to sow seeds of division and hatred and all that. Like that's just it's not a bad look. It's a common tactic. It's always been done throughout history, but we've learned those lessons. So I think we should be very wary of people who seek to do that and who seek to divide people. Okay. So thank you for the questions. I will be taking more questions later on. But yeah, in light of the last couple of months and the last couple of weeks, I just wanted to talk about this idea of not fighting hatred with hatred. And I think maybe what sparked this thought is some of you may know there's an American celebrity named Nick Cannon who is he's a rapper, a TV presenter. He also does some acting, I believe, as well. Also an actor. Talented guy. Got nothing against the guy, but he made some comments on his podcast, which went viral, and a lot of people were reacting to, etc. Where he made some pure, simply racist, very racist statements against white people and also against Jewish people. Nick Cannon is a Black American guy, and it provoked a reaction from me. I put up a video about it that went kind of viral in itself. And it's weird. We're living in this time where a lot of people are, it's weird how often I end up talking about racial issues, given that it's actually like race is one of those things that I really, really, really do not care about. Like I've been over it since I was a child. Like I'm just not, I just think it's, we've got eyes, we can see what each other look like, but it's when it comes to like someone's personality or their character or their beliefs or what makes a person interesting, it's non-existent. It doesn't matter, right? I'm not going to like somebody or dislike somebody or feel any kind of way based on what race, ethnicity, whatever they are, right? Like it doesn't matter. I've got friends across the board, family, followers, fans, so many people. I'm connected to hundreds of thousands of people of every sort of permutation that exists. And even before that, it's just like, look, content of character, what's in your heart, right? How do you treat people? How do you act? How do you behave? What do you believe? What are your values, etc.? All that stuff is so much more important than anything. But what I found sort of sad about those statements, and then not just the statements, but people who were saying like, yeah, he's right, or who were defending it or didn't want to sort of condemn it in any way, is so many of those same people claim to be against racism and claim to be against bigotry, etc. And so it's like, look, if you're going to be talking talking about how bad it is for people to be racist against black people, right? Or brown people, then you can't just turn around and start saying awful, prejudiced, bigoted, racist stuff against white people or against Jews, etc. It's so extremely counterproductive. It's not just counterproductive, but it comes from a bad place. It's the same thing. I'm not one of these people who thinks that it depends on which direction it runs in, right? You have some people who say, oh, that's not racism because black people in America don't have institutional power, right? You'll hear people redefine racism or try to redefine racism to say that you need some kind of institutional or power in the system for you to even be able to be racist, which is nonsense, right? If you look at the proper definition of racist, assuming they haven't just changed it in the dictionary the last week, then there's no mention of white people, there's no mention of black people, there's no mention of power, etc. It's simply, discriminating against or mistreating people or being prejudiced against people based on their race or their ethnicity, or thinking that some racial or ethnic groups are superior to others and that others are inferior. That's what racism means. It can run in any direction. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a black and white thing, whatever. And that's just simply the facts. And look, whether or not people want to, it doesn't that doesn't even matter, right? Even if someone wants to define it by the incorrect definition, it comes from a bad place, right? It's the same thing. It's just doing the same thing. So treating people, we all know, like, I'm sure everybody watching this knows it's wrong to mistreat people based on their skin color or their ethnicity or any other immutable characteristics. If someone is just born a certain way and that's just how they are and that's how they look or whatever, then to be cruel or to suggest that person is subhuman or inferior to you or whatever is evil. It's wrong. It's just morally, ethically wrong. It doesn't matter what direction it runs in. And I'm really, really not a fan of this we're going to fight racism by being racist against white people thing, right? I think it's a very bad look. I think it's very, very dangerous in a multitude of ways. And like I said, it's counterproductive and it's evil, and it suggests that people don't want fairness and they don't want harmony and they don't want equality. It's like some of these people seem like they're just after some type of weird, perverse revenge, perhaps for certain things that have happened in history and things like that. And it's just not right. There's that old phrase, everybody says it, two wrongs don't make a right. And that's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Even if someone feels a certain type of way because they're focused on the negative or they've experienced certain things or whatever, painting any entire group, demographic or whatever with the kind of language that he was using and that other people have used in different ways, and it's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's very basic. And I think what was disheartening for me was seeing not just the fact that he said it, but seeing how many people were saying like, oh yeah, he's right. Right. And the people who were then wanting to attack people like myself or others. I keep headbutting this microphone. The people who thousands and thousands of people who were essentially saying like, yeah, he's correct. I agree with him. What he said was correct. It was science. It was history. And he said absolute nonsense. I'm not going to repeat what he was saying, but it was complete nonsense, afactual, just, really, really bad stuff. And it just kept going and going. And it's just bad. But that made me just sort of feel a little bit sad for humanity, because I feel like, man, like I thought we were over this crap. Like I thought we're over this crap, and I thought almost everybody was there, but then you see that and you're like, man, there's still a way to go on this thing. And I'll be honest, I mean, one of the good things I think I love the UK, I love the USA. One area where I think the UK is legitimately like quite far ahead of the US is what you could call race relations. I think that in the USA, and I can understand some of this given the history, but in the USA, people are just at each other's throats a lot more. There's more sort of underlying animosity and tension and resentment and things like that between various racial groups, certainly between black Americans and white Americans. And most of the time, I don't think this is most people, but it's such a big country that I think there are enough people that is enough to cause a problem, right? So you've got, I don't know, 330 million people. If even like 5% of people or maybe 10% of people harbor that, it's like, man, that's still dozens of millions of people who sort of have these underlying feelings. And sure, it might not manifest normally in any type of bad way or noticeable way, but in moments like this and over the things that have happened over the past couple months, you can see that seeping out. You can see it coming out in people's actions, in people's rhetoric, and everything like that. And I just think people need to be really, really careful with that. People need to be really careful with that and understand that the way to fight any kind of hatred or discrimination or bigotry, it doesn't matter if it's racism, sexism, homophobia, whatever. The way to deal with it is not just to do the opposite, just to do the same thing, but to a different group, right? That's really not the way forward. So if I don't know, if women have some grievances in the world, the way to, or in a country or in a locality, the way to address those grievances should not be by attacking and demonizing all males, right? All boys, all men are now the problem, etc. Like that's dangerous. It's counterproductive. It's not useful. It burns bridges and ruins allies that you could have sort of had in this fight, etc. Same thing happens along racial lines or ethnic lines. Of course, we all know the history. We all know the history of the USA, right? Black people were horribly mistreated, had hundreds of years of slavery, and then you had, Jim Crow laws, and lots of discrimination has happened, and some of it is only ended in the, around the 60s. So I can understand that. I can understand how that can make people feel in a certain way, but the way to deal with it or to address anything that may still be going on is not just to embrace that evil for yourself and the same darkness and the same racism and the same bigotry and just direct that back towards people who in most cases had absolutely nothing to do with any of it and who are totally innocent. But yeah, the way to do it isn't it just to redirect that hate towards another group of people. It's like I said, it's just wrong. If it's wrong in one direction, then it's wrong in all directions, and I will die on that hill. I'm not gonna, people can call me whatever they want. I'm not gonna back down from that point because it's just correct. It's just correct. If you can't justify it one way and you think it's wrong one way, then it's wrong. It's wrong in any other way. People can use whatever language or excuses they like, but it's just excuses. It's just excuses for bad behavior. It's excuses for hatred, and people need to get that. People need to get that out of their hearts, man. Because I've said it many times. We're all human beings, and everybody has dignity. Everybody's life does matter. Everybody, is we're all like one huge extended family. So treating people wrong, especially based on something so superficial and so stupid, it's just dumb. It's backwards. It's regressive, and it's not helpful. It's really, really just not helpful. And yeah, I mean, I think one of the coolest things about my own audience and my own fan base is that people understand this, right? People understand this. I'm probably preaching to the choir right now. And I really wish I didn't even need to say stuff like this because I'm just like, come on, it's 2020. Like, let's get on with things. Let's just, let's work hard. Let's have fun. Let's be successful. Let's help each other. Let's lift each other up. Let's not tear each other down. Let's not diss each other. Let's not insult each other or throw names at each other, based off of immutable characteristics or anything dumb like that. So yeah, that's my sort of thought on that. That's something I wanted to tackle. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the chat. I'm going to take some more questions in just a moment. We've had a lot of people join though since I started, so excuse me. So if you're just joining, thank you for joining. I do these live streams every Monday at 8 p.m. BST, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So feel free to tune in any week that you can. You can hit the notification bell on YouTube as well so that you get the notifications for when I am going to go live. I was saying earlier in the chat, I've got a lot of new merchandise as well. If you want to check any of that out, you can go to teamzuby.com. If you would like to support the channel and support my work, it is always appreciated. So yeah, I'm going to open up the chat. If anyone has any questions then I'm going to address some questions, and let's see what we got here. I'm just gonna have a look here. Gonna just have a look, see if I've missed anything. It's hard to. One of the things with live streams is trying to keep up with the chat. It's a tricky one. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is a good quote here. Adams written it here. Hate is not conquered by hate. Hate is conquered by love. This is a law eternal, from Buddha. Yep, I agree. Buddha is right on that one. I think every single religion under the sun has has a variation of that, right? You know, golden rule: treat people like you want to be treated. Love your neighbors as yourself. You know, man is created in the image of God. So, yeah, I'm on board with all that. And yeah, someone wrote Martin Luther King had something to say about this. Yeah, absolutely. Judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Someone's just dropped a super chat, so let me just jump down to that one here. Okay, thank you. This is from Ray Ranja. She has dropped, is that Norwegian krona, NOK, I believe, 100. Thank you. I'm so frustrated that people trust and listen to people who have no actual knowledge on specific issues. The worst is that they just double down even though you give facts and the sources. Yeah, it's... It frustrates me too. But sometimes you have to know, sometimes you have to pick your battles, and not every conversation is worth having. And if someone shows me that they're not even willing to accept facts, right, actual facts, then I can't really have that conversation, and I'm not interested in it. I don't mind if look, I always talk to people who disagree with me, and disagreement is fine. But if someone is just sort of digging in and refuses to ever acknowledge that they're wrong, or even could be wrong, especially when faced with actual facts, not just opinions, then yeah, that's not a conversation that's worth having. So thank you again for the super chat. I appreciate it. And yeah, let's see what else we got on here. If anyone has any questions, like I said, feel free to drop the question out here. Lots of positive comments, though. Thank you very much for the positive comments. I really appreciate it. It's been, I want to say it's been really dope watching my audience grow over the past couple of years. Like, over the past 18 months, I mean, it's been crazy. I'm approaching 500,000 across the board now on my social media platforms. So just, yeah, thank you for everyone supporting me. I hit some big milestones last week, hit like, I think 65,000 on Instagram, 300,000 on Twitter, 50,000 on Parlay, YouTube over cracked 40,000. So stuff is just going, it's just growing. And I'm glad to have you guys here. I'm glad you appreciate the message. And it's all positive. I'm going to be, I'm going to talk about music a little bit later on as well, because there's, I've got some updates to talk about regarding that. Hey everyone, that's just a, I like this comment here. He's just written, love you, bro. If they take your smile, they take your soul. That's real talk. Don't let anyone take your smile, and don't let anybody take your sense of humor. I know sometimes stuff gets frustrating, and it's tiring to deal with nonsense all the time. And if you're on social media, it feels toxic and it's just tiring. So yeah, but don't smile. You have to smile through it. You have to smile. You have to laugh. You have to see the humor in things. Because life is very serious, but at the same time, life is like a big joke, and we're all going to die anyway. None of us get out of it alive. So, so you should probably laugh and smile through it. Let's see. Okay, I think I see a couple questions here. Someone wrote, "Do you think any of this would be happening if it weren't an election year?" I think to a degree. I do think it's amplified, especially in the U.S. because it's an election year. But lots of this stuff has been brewing for years. It's been brewing for a long time. I think the fact that people have been locked up in their houses and so many people have lost their jobs and whatever, and people are just kind of bored, that certainly doesn't help things. And then, of course, with the media in an election year, social media, everything's going to be jacked up. People are going to be more emotional, etc. So I think it would be happening, but I think it's not as bad. Thank you very much for all the positive messages, guys. I really appreciate it. What's this here? It looks like an interesting question. Do you think that female colorism is having a significant overall impact on self-esteem and bringing negative vibes within households? Whoa. I guess by that you mean like the whole like light skin, dark skin thing that some people do within, some black people and some Asian people do, kind of judging people within the same race or ethnicity based on the lightness of their skin. It's also dumb. It's also stupid. It's just stuff like that. Just I don't even know what my answer to that question is. Maybe, but it's just dumb. Like people need to really just get over this stuff. It's just not important. it's it's really just not important, right? If I were 3 shades darker or 3 shades lighter, I would like to think that I'm still Zuby, I'm still me, I'm the same character, the same personality. I'd like to think people would treat me the same and still be, it just doesn't matter. Like I said before, it's literally the least important thing, one of the least important things about a person. It's interesting to the point that, oh, wow, cool, everyone looks different. That's cool. That's interesting. Oh, cool, someone is from this part of the world or that part of the world and they look different. I think that's dope. I think that's cool. I'm not like colorblind in the literal sense. It's like, no, like I can see it. But like I said, in terms of any kind of judgment or how you treat people or behavior or anything like that, it's dumb. It's just silly. It's a really silly thing to dwell on, and we've got so many bigger problems that we could tackle individually and collectively. That yeah, it just makes me sad when people fixate on that, on stuff like that. Thank you to everybody who's just joining. What I will do right now, I'm not seeing a lot of questions popping up right now. I will take a few more at the very end. But what I want to actually wanted, I've had a lot of people asking me about music. So of course I am a rapper. I am a musician, and I put out my latest single, "Okay, Dude." I think when it was that would have been, I think was it end of around May or June. So firstly, thank you to everyone who supported the single. Thank you to everyone who's bought the "Okay Dude" caps, "Okay Dude" t-shirts. I've sold literally like 500 t-shirts and hats, like the "Okay Dude" ones. It's actually been my best selling merch line. So thank you to everyone who's bought those. If you go to teamzuby.com, if you want to get one of the new hats, you want to get a t-shirt, you want to get the mugs, all of that is available at teamzuby.com. So please support that. But in terms of music, I've got yeah, I'm going to be working on some brand new stuff. So hopefully I'm going to drop a couple new singles this year. And I am aiming to get a new album out in 2021. And I've got a bunch of new beats. I've got about 10 new beats from different producers, and I'm going to be having more of them. And I haven't had the time yet to sort of sit down and write. But what I think I'm going to do is I'll take at some month, I'm not even sure when, maybe like September or October, last quarter of the year. I think I'll just take a whole month, and I'm just gonna go, and maybe I'll just go to a different country or something and get an Airbnb and shack up myself in the woods or something. And I'm just gonna write. I'm just gonna vibe out and make a whole bunch of brand new music and come back and hit you guys with some serious fire. That's what I'm planning to do. So in terms of the music, anyone who's wondering what's going on with the music, man, there's 8 albums and EPs already out on all platforms, so make sure you listen to those first. But there will be brand new music coming. If you enjoyed "Okay Dude," then yeah, a lot more fire coming for you. So yeah, and that's just worth knowing. But if I'm making my next album, I'm making it for an audience much bigger than I've ever had before. So I need to make sure I don't half-ass anything. Make sure that I really come with some good fire. But I've got some fantastic production. I've got a lot of ideas for lyrics and things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that in the future. We just got a new super chat here. So this is a super chat, $20 from Haxering. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's very generous of you. It says, love your stuff, dude. It's time to talk to a world record holder. It's great to talk to a world record holder. You asked about civilrightssociety.org. The basic premise seems to be that the totalitarians are organized and freedom lovers should be too. Yeah, I think it's hard to organize freedom lovers though, right? Because we're naturally individualistic, so it's a bit harder to collectivize people. But yeah, that's interesting. I'll look into it. But yeah, thank you very much for the super chat. And yeah, just be individuals. Think for yourselves. Think freely. Have conversations. Talk to people you agree with, disagree with, whatever. Learn from other people. Learn different perspectives. Sometimes you'll change your mind. Sometimes they'll change their mind. Sometimes nobody will change their mind. But ultimately, hopefully, it creates empathy. It creates empathy. And if you can empathize with other people and you can empathize with other people's views, and at least, even if you don't agree, at least you can understand where they're coming from, then that makes it a lot easier for society to be united and to be harmonious. Because, look, most people are not evil. Most people are not bad people. Most people kind of want to live and have a career and be healthy and look after their family and experience love and all of that good stuff. That's, most human beings, regardless of country, culture, etc., religion, most people kind of want the same things. They just have different ideas of how to best get there. It's very rare to meet someone who wants to make things worse. So given that's the case, there's a lot of stuff that we can unite on. Of course, there's always going to be divisions and groups and different beliefs, etc. That's always going to happen. It's always going to happen, and there's nothing inherently wrong with it. But as long as we can be cordial and we can be civil and treat each other well, then everything is good. Dolores has written, "Can't wait to get your book in the mail." Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for pre-ordering. I appreciate that. You can also get of course, I forgot to mention that if you want to get a physical copy of Strong Advice, Zuby's Guide to Fitness for Everybody, then well, I don't even have like a link off the top of my head I can send you to, but I will be promoting that across my social media channels. So stay tuned on any of those, and you will see if you search for it, you will find the paperback link. But I'll make sure I post another one up after this call. Someone's asking if my music is on iTunes. Yes, absolutely. My music is on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Google Play, Amazon. Wherever you listen to or stream your music, you will find me. Just search Zuby, 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 depending on what country you're in, and you will find me. Okay, I'm looking to close this live stream out in about 10 minutes or so. So what I'm going to do is just get into a couple more questions, and then I'll give some closing statements, and we'll call it a day. Someone's asking, are you going to get into politics? Man, I get asked this multiple times a day. The answer is, look, I'm not going to rule it out for the future. Right now, no. Probably in the next 10 years, probably not. But after that, maybe so. We'll see. If there's a calling, if that's what God wants me to do, then that's what God wants me to do. But not just yet. Wanted to let you know, is the album cover digitally enhanced? Like, nah, baby girl, I'm just very physically advanced. Is one of the most underrated bars in hip hop history. Thank you very much, Max. That's from my song Now or Never. Someone's written, you should make a song with Lawrence Fox. Yeah, I think we will. Yeah, a lot of stuff in the future. A lot of stuff coming. This is an interesting question. Dom wrote, as a form of expression, do you enjoy creating music or doing commentary more? Or do you enjoy them both equally? You do both really well. Thank you. I enjoy music more. It's more creative. It's more fun. And yeah, and also it's rarer as well. A lot of people I don't think everybody does commentary well, but a lot of people can do commentary, but less people are actually capable of making music and performing and making it sound good and stuff. So I think the music is sort of more of a talent, and I think it's more fun. But I like to exercise different parts of my brain. I'm not like a one-trick pony. I can do a lot of things. It's why I wrote a book. It's why I have a podcast. It's why I do this. It's why I make music. I do a lot of things. I just do things that I enjoy and which I think people appreciate. And I can see people appreciate this because you guys could be anywhere in the world right now, but you are here tuned into the Team Zuby live stream. So it is much, much, much appreciated. Someone's asked, did you hear about Bevelin Beauty? No, I haven't. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so let's see. A couple more questions here. Okay, favorite rappers or musicians? Oh, no. Favorite rappers or musicians? My favorite rappers, my two favorites are Tech-9 and Jay-Z. I'm also a fan of Eminem, Nas, Royce da 5'9", The Game, 50 Cent, Tupac, Biggie, Kanye West. I like a lot of artists. Like I could sit here and name artists for a very, very long time. But I'm primarily a hip hop fan. I do listen to a little bit of other stuff as well. I listen to a bit of dubstep, tiny bit of rock, tiny bit of reggae, like whatever. If something sounds good, then it sounds good to me. Someone said, do you know that your name means teeth in Czech? Yes, I do. I've been to Czech Republic 6 times and performed there 3 times. So I absolutely know that it means teeth in both Czech and Slovak. Ahoy. Jak sa máš? Okay, sweet. I think we got most of the questions right here. Okay. So I'm going to close out some give a couple closing statements here. Maybe just reiterate a couple of things that I already said, which is, look, I'm preaching to the choir here, man. But with that said, given I'm preaching to the choir and you guys already know this, that you don't fight hatred with hatred, and we want to view people as individuals rather than collectives, I would just give some words of encouragement. Don't get disheartened. Don't get disheartened. I know a lot of people are feeling demoralized. People are feeling like, oh man, we were making all this progress and now people are making it worse. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. I don't like the over politicization. I understand that. And sometimes I feel frustrated and I myself get demoralized, but don't let people, like we said earlier, don't let people take your smile. Don't let people take your sense of humor. Don't let people take your good nature, your positivity, your desire for unity, etc. Don't fall into the game, right? That's how they win. Right? That's how people win. People who seek to divide you, that's how they win, by taking away your smile and getting you angry and getting you outraged and wanting to blame those people or blame those people or blame that side or blame that side. And people play into it, So sometimes the best thing to do is to not play into it too much. It's hard to avoid totally. I understand we're all human. But don't let the negativity wear you down. And if you feel like that is happening, don't be afraid to just disengage. If you're tired of all the nonsense on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or wherever from your TV, turn your TV off, go out for a walk, talk to a friend. You don't need to be on Twitter all day long. You don't need to be doing all these things all day long. So just disconnect from it. Listen to some good music, watch a movie, read a book, hang out with friends. Now that it's legal again, I think, just chill. So yeah, that's someone has just dropped a last minute super chat there, $9.99. Thank you so much. There's no message, but thank you so much for that. And yeah, that's all I have got to say. I will be dropping a new podcast on Friday. This Friday's guest is going to be my friend Ruslan, who is a Christian hip hop artist from the USA and a creative entrepreneur. Really, really cool guy. We had a fantastic, interesting conversation. So that's going to be coming out this Friday. I will be back next Monday with another live stream like this one. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And yeah, God bless you all. Thank you all for the support. Thanks to everyone who dropped a super chat. I appreciated it. And last plug for the merchandise, if you go to teamzuby.com, if you want to get my book, you want to get a hat, t-shirt, anything like that, then you can always support me on there. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace out.